So, okay, so some legs and feet, lower back, hips, yep. We'll bring all that in today, and that'll be kind of nice and grounding. So let's go ahead, come on your back, and we'll get started. So we're gonna just start with a nice little guided practice to set the tone. So just come into your back body and just start to drop in. Let your body land here in this moment. Start to release into the ground. Release effort in the body. Start to tune in to noticing things like little pulsations, vibratory qualities pulsing in the body. So we start to go from the more like gross to subtle. So the more obvious, the outer bones, muscles, all the big things, to more subtle awareness in our system. And have a sense of the skin beneath your fingernails, your toes, to empty and soften. Sense of emptying out through your wrists, letting there be a deep stillness in your palms. The head release, the skin on the top of your head, the skin on your face, your scalp, and just put all of your tension and your awareness there. Let yourself start to build those brain maps for the subtle aspects. And when we get subtle, the body senses safety, right? So our attention can't be subtle if we are in fight flight. So as we shift to the subtlety, we start to shift the nervous system. And this also helps increase the circulation throughout our system. So if we are experiencing, some things like numbness and neuropathy, that might be a benefit there, is that as we relax, we increase the microcirculation in the body. Imagine any tension evaporating from your skin. Notice the softness of your eyelashes. And soften the skin on the bridge of your nose. This sense of your brain dropping back, widening, softening and spreading into the floor. Allow the breath to be very, very soft. And a sense of releasing through the periphery of your body. Again, the hands and the feet, the head and the tailbone. Breathe softer than ever before, with just this sense of sinking deep, deep inside. A softening of your belly, a dropping of your ribs. The breath, just that sense of breathing like a sleeping infant. Moving into a place beyond language, beyond thought, beyond the thinking mind. Returning to the source of your breath, to the root of awareness, like an ocean, vast, limitless. And allow that awareness to pervade your entire being. Every cell, every fiber, every pore of your skin open in this pervasive presence of awareness. to a place of interior source that perhaps you have forgotten or neglected. You're soaking and sinking into your bones. The breath effortless. Breath breathing you. Sense of letting go, but also this returning home to our source. And in this homecoming, in this moment, there is no doing, just pure being. Sinking, soaking, settling even further into your interior. Contacting the essence of your being, where there is no form, no color, no shape, no identity. Just a vast, open space. Know that you can return to this space anytime within a few minutes' time. Just shifting your awareness into the subtle. Now slowly start to just touch one finger to the other, thumb and index, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, and just go through touching the pad of each finger softly with awareness, as if you could touch and sense into your own fingerprint. Go through that one more time, just touching one fingertip to the other, starting with super, super subtle movement. You can even let the hands be at your side, relaxed, palms up. However you'd like to do this. And then eventually let that come to a pause. Feel the stillness in your being. And then bend both elbows and gently circle both wrists. And as we've done before, just this idea of putting all of your curiosity, your attention on what it feels like to circle your wrists gently and slowly. Again, with that sense of subtlety that shifts the nervous system. Go the other direction. And notice what it feels like in your hands. Is there any sense of nervous system agitation? Any little quivers, sense of fatigue or weakness? And without judging, just be aware of what you encounter. And then slowly let the hands come down. And as they come down, really let everything land. Your body soften like heavy water balloons into the earth. That sinking, soaking sensation. And then let's go ahead, turn the head to the right. And slowly to the left. Just exploring a mild rotation in the head. Again, noticing what you encounter. Is there any sense of headache or fatigue in the head and the neck? Is there any sense of discomfort, any headache? Sensing into the neck as maybe you turn your head a little farther this time. And notice any subtle restrictions in the area of the neck. So Right now, just the movement is very soft and subtle, but as you turn your head all the way, you might start noticing those fascial restrictions. Is there any tension in your jaw, any clenching in the teeth? Come back to the center, take your arms out to a T. And as you turn your head to the right, slide your right arm to the right. And then back to the center. And as you turn your head to the left, slide your left arm to the left. Keep going again, just noticing what you encounter as you make this movement slightly bigger now, as you slide the arms, sensations in the arms, the shoulders. Maybe even still noticing what's going on in the head, any sense of brain fog, heaviness. We're all different in what we bring to our practice. Let's do one more of those on each side. Come back to the center and again, observing sensations in your arms, perhaps any, increase in energy flow. You notice any pulsations or vibrations. And now sliding right leg forward, keeping the leg straight, and then left leg forward, letting your head roll as it likes. So try not to control the head, just let it move. So sometimes as I slide the leg, the head goes opposite. But see what happens for you. And then notice this mild sensation of twisting in the sacrum. So a lot of times there's compression here in our lower spine. Nerves can get inflamed or compressed or blocked. And then we might feel those sensations going down the legs. So just bringing a mild stimulation into the sacrum here. A very, very subtle up slip, down slip. You can notice the ribs, the side waist, what's happening as you move a leg. There's other parts that move. Notice the lower back and sensations in the lower back. Anytime we move lower back and head, these are the bookends of the spine and relate to our parasympathetic nervous system. So a calming sensation when we work with these bookends. Creating fluidity in our spine, subtle fluidity. Slowly come back to a pause and again, just drop like those water balloons into the ground. Release all effort, be in the stillness, notice sensations through your legs and your feet. All right, from here, let's bring the right knee into the chest. And we're gonna extend that leg up towards straight, holding behind the back of the leg. Let the shoulders stay relaxed. If you feel like you need support, put a blanket under your head. And then start to circle the foot around. So we start to stimulate fascia in the lower leg, leading up into the lower calf and the lower shin. Notice where the fascia might feel a little restricted or tight in the foot, or is there any little crackling going on? And then reverse, go the other direction. Keep the breath soft, steady, subtle. And then move into the point flex. And the point flex is definitely part of this nerve flossing concept that we'll explore in a later class. So as I'm pointing and flexing, that nerve that goes down through the leg is getting a little stimulation. So it goes from our lower back down into the back of the knee, and then another branch from the back of the knee down the lower leg into the foot. So point and flex a few more times, just kind of bringing some stimulation into those nerves of the leg. And now hold the foot in a flex position and bend and straighten the leg. Going super slow with a micro bend at the top. Try not to hyperextend the knee. Exploring, what is your range of motion like? What does it feel like in your hamstring, in the back of the knee? Just take a few more of these. And then pull the knee all the way into your chest. Take an inhale, exhale, draw it in a little more. Compressing the right side of the abdomen. Inhale, let it move away. Exhale, draw it in. Couple more of these. Good, and then go ahead and let that foot come down to the floor. Take it out nice and wide. And widen the other leg so that you have some space to move there. And go into a little hip hinge, drop the knee open, and then drop it in. So getting a little bit into hip joint here, which can also benefit the lower back. Starting to be aware of sensations in the inner and outer leg, the inner and outer groin, the inner and outer knee. Be aware of any twinges or cracking and all those little sensations that arise as you move through your hip joint range of motion. The next time the knee drops open, pick the foot up, let the foot come down, drop it in the center. Lift the foot up, foot down, open. And if the lifting is a little too much for you today, you could skip it and just do the hinging. But notice muscles that you utilize as you open and close and as you lift and lower. We move also from internal to external rotation. This works a lot on the IT band, on the outer leg that connects knee to hip. And also adductor, inner thighs, pelvic floor on the right as we open that knee out to the side. And now bring the knee up to center, straighten the leg, roll the leg open, and slide it up. And then drop the knee into center. Drop the knee out to the side. Bring it vertical and straighten the leg. Roll the leg open, slide it up. Drop the knee into center. Drop the knee out to the side. Bring it up to vertical and straighten the leg. So repeat that little sequence a few times. Draw the foot up, knee out to the side, drop in, drop out. And just noticing sensations, stickiness in the joint. Try to just smooth this out. Let it be nice and fluid. Maybe slow it down a little bit more so you can feel and sense. When we start to speed up, we oftentimes lose our awareness. We start to go on autopilot and we are no longer putting our attention in the body. Let's go last one here. Now pause and just feel that right leg for a moment. And sense the energy flow through the right leg, right hip, maybe right lower back. And then we've got that long sequence on the other side. So we're going to bring left knee into the chest, extend the leg, and we start with those very subtle foot circles, putting all of our attention and awareness in the foot, any tightness in the ankle, the lower shin. Is it a circle? Is it a little more angular? Can you smooth it out? And then reverse. And then moving into the flex and point, this little pumping action, starting to floss the nerves of the lower leg. Noticing here the calf muscle, again, the ankle, the shin, top of the foot. What are you feeling here? Keeping the foot flexed, we'll bend and straighten the leg. Now noticing sensations more in the upper leg or back of the knee. Maybe that still radiates down into the calf and the foot. So it's really good, this little pumping action for the nerves that go from our lower back down into the leg. You don't have to be, extreme or work hard or even do standing work to create change in the fascia, the nerves, and even the muscles and the bones here. Our subtle work is sometimes even more effective than some of that more challenging work because we're putting so much attention on what we're doing, and that creates more change. neuroplastic change versus when we're kind of overriding our body, more ego-driven things that we do. This is non-ego-driven movement. Okay, keep the knee bent, take an inhale, exhale, pull the knee into the chest, and then repeat that. Inhale, knee moves away, exhale, pull in. Notice sensations, maybe in your glute area, getting a little stretch, maybe a little compression through the left side abdomen, hip flexor region. Couple more. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let that foot come to the floor, and we'll widen the left foot and the right leg, keeping the left foot flat. Go into those hinges, opening, and then dropping in. Noticing tightness on the inner thigh or the outer leg, IT band region. Noticing the hip joint and your range of motion. Now you could just keep going like this, or you can start to lift the foot. So the foot lifts when you open the knee, and then when you drop in, a little harder. See if you can get that foot off the floor. Often harder on our non-dominant side, so be aware. Sometimes it's a little more awkward on that non-dominant side because there's less brain map for that side of the body. So notice for you, whichever is your dominant side, how it feels. Notice the tendency to speed up when things are a little challenging. Really stay present with what you're doing. Try not to check out on autopilot. One more of these. Good, and then we'll slide that leg out, turn the leg open, slide it back up like that bound angle. Bring the foot flat, drop the knee in, drop the knee open, bring it back up to vertical and extend. And then repeat that little sequence. Roll it open, slide, drop in and drop open. Back to neutral and extend. So here, creating lots of fluidity in the area around the hip joint and all the fascia that holds our leg bone into our hip joint. So we're getting that inner and outer leg stimulation, internal, external rotation of the leg bone. Also beneficial for our SI joint to do these leg rotation hinge movements. Do one more round, nice and slow. Try not to speed it up. And then let's just take a little pause now that we've finished that whole leg sequence on both sides. Sensing energy flow and vibration through the legs. Breathe in, breathe out. And let's grab a single tennis ball and come into a figure 4, right ankle crossing over left knee. Pop the tennis ball under the right outer hip and then arms out to a T. We're gonna rock toward that tennis ball. How far you go is up to you, and then come back towards center. So just gently rock toward the ball, any amount, and then release. So just starting to kind of pressurize the outer glute region. Sometimes this is related to those pains that go down into the leg, especially if we have any, piriformis stuff going on. This kind of plumps up the tissue, brings in that, fresh water like we talked about last week. And we get that stimulation into the fascia here. And then reposition the ball every so often, hit a new spot. Move that ball one more time, maybe up a little higher, a little lower. Find a new spot. All right, and then go ahead, release the tennis ball. Stay in that figure 4 for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Put all of your attention where the ball just was. Imagine just increased energy flow through that little spot. Now we're gonna pick the left foot up, bring the knees in towards your chest, and draw circles on your lower back. The arms can stay relaxed. We're just letting it be nice and loose. And we're almost doing that like that clock circle where you circle around the sacrum. But with the figure 4, we get a little extra hip work here. And then reverse, go the other direction. And stimulation for parasympathetics when we work with the sacrum. Circles could be as small or as big as you want them to be. And then eventually let that foot come down, uncross, pause. Okay, other side, left ankle, ball comes over the left outer hip glute area. And we're just gonna simply kind of rock toward that ball, any amount. A lot of us have a lot of tightness here in the outer hip. So just bringing some energy flow into the glute medius, glute minimus. And reposition your ball. The higher you get up towards your hip bone, you also hit that TFL. It's close to like where your pocket is, but more on the side. Try not to be right on the bone. No, we want to hit the fleshier areas. Start to plump this area up with this popping action, bringing more fluid flow. Let's reposition the ball one more time, find one more spot. And know that no matter where we are with the ball, even though it's sort of this pinpointed sensation, it affects the fascia throughout your whole body. When we release one area, the whole body gets that stimulation. Okay, and then take the ball away, pause and feel for a moment. Go ahead and pick the right foot up and draw your circles on your lower back. Feeling the lower edges of the sacrum, the sides and the top. Sort of like that clock face work that we do. And then reverse. We'll go the other way for 5 rounds or so. All right, and then let's go ahead, release that. Both feet land, pause and feel. Widen the feet as wide as your mat. And go into a regular windshield wiper, right to left. Again, noticing inner and outer leg, IT bands, inner thighs. Benefiting the lower back, the hips, the legs, and also some pelvic floor tissue here. We're gonna start to add in the lifting of the shin. So as your knees drop to the right, lift your right foot, right shin, look over your left shoulder. Push into your left inner foot and then release. Drop the knees over to the left, look to the right, lift the left foot, push into the right inner foot and go side to side. So it's the windshield wiper with a little extra twist. Getting a little deeper into hip flexors, psoas, but notice what you're feeling, maybe up into your ribs or abdomen. Notice what you feel. Now, if you want, add the spiraling of the arms. So we go into wash rag arms. One arm rolls up, one arm rolls down. You can see what feels most intuitive for you. Head could go either direction for this one. So if you go against the knees, that's one sensation. And I kind of feel like that's a little more, let's say, intense. Or you could let your head go with your knees. That might feel a little softer. So but play with it. Maybe it's different for you. It's just, what I notice in my body. So sometimes I like to switch it, maybe sometimes a little bit with the knees, and maybe I'll switch it and go against and see the difference. Always, if anything gets too confusing, just simplify. Don't do the arms. If your brain starts to get overwhelmed, it's too much at this moment. Doesn't mean another time we can't do the whole thing, but maybe today it's enough to just do the legs. And then come back to the center and let's straighten the legs, this time empty completely. So every so often, good to have this moment of just dropping in, softening, landing, observing. One more breath. Okay, now we're going to grab those double balls. Bend the right knee, left leg straight. And we're going to place the balls to the left side in that same outer hip pocket. So glute medius, minimus area, sides of the glutes. Arms out to a T. Widen the right foot a bit. And the balls are kind of just slightly tucked under so that when we do our unwinding, we're going to roll onto the balls. So again, balls are always optional. Feel free to skip them. Push into your right foot, drop your knee to the left, rolling onto the balls. Look over your right shoulder and let the right shoulder draw a bit down your back toward your foot. And then come back off the ball, back down to the start. Open the knee out to the right, look to the left. So we get that hinge again. Maybe push into the foot a bit, push into the side of your head if you want more sensation. And then repeat, drop the knee to the left, push into your foot. Maybe you arch your back to stretch that right rib cage and hip a bit more, and then come down, drop the knee open, look to your left. Maybe activate by pushing a bit into the floor. And repeat. So you can keep it softer, or you can get a little more stretch by using the floor as the prop. Well, maybe adding an arm spiral. Right arm, roll the hand toward the wall behind you. And we get a little more fascia of the arm. If that's too much, just skip it. There's a lot of parts here. So as we drop the knee over to the left, we spiral the right arm if you want. And then as you come back down, knee drops open, look to your left. Arm comes back to neutral. So we're just adding an external rotation of the arm. And again, if anything feels like too much for your brain, then you're going to just simplify. Just do that first part. One more. Okay, go ahead, come back to center, take the balls away, slide the right leg out, and just be there for a moment. The other side. Then the left knee, pop the balls along the right outer glute, outer hip area, arms out to a T. And we'll start with just that lower body component. Push into your left foot, roll onto the balls. Look over left shoulder. And as you come down, look to the right, open the knee to the left. So you got that hinge going. And then activating as much as you like by pressing into the floor or keeping things soft and a little more subtle. Know that there is no right or wrong. It's just what your body needs in any given practice. It doesn't mean today or tomorrow is going to be the same. today might be different from tomorrow, depending on our stress levels, depending on how we slept the night before, depending on what we did the day before, our activity. Feel free to add the arm spiral. If you like, left arm spirals toward the wall behind you. Forget to drop that knee open as you come back. Maybe pressing the head into the floor. Either direction, you can add that for a little more neck release. Two more of these. After this next one, we're going to take those balls away and have our little pause. Breathe in, breathe out, notice. All right, go ahead and bend both knees, feet flat. And we're going to go into a little more sacrum work. Hands on the fronts of your hips. Rock your pelvis right to left. Right to left. We're going to start out slowly, but today we're going to add a little faster oscillation. And this is another little technique that my teacher uses that he calls neurological flushing. So it's akin to that nerve flossing, but it's done in this more of a rhythmic fashion to kind of shake the body. And whenever we shake the body, we loosen up the fascial adhesions, potentially unblocking pinched nerves and increasing neurological flow. So there are, $100 machines you can stand on. I have one and I love it, called the lymphatic plate. And it shakes your body and it does it for you. But we don't need the machine to do it. We can do it ourselves. And simply standing and just shaking your whole body out can do it. But here we're going to isolate into our sacrum. So now rock, rock, rock. And go as fast as your body allows you to go. Rock, 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 rock. So we don't often go fast in somatics, but this is one technique that we go fast for. And we're just kind of shaking up this pelvic area, imagining just loosening up any tightness in the fascia and increasing the flow in our nerves. And here again, parasympathetic nerves in the lower back. Shake it up if you can, just a little bit faster. Shake, 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 rock, rock, rock. And then slowly start to come to a stop without sudden stopping. Slow it down, and eventually pause. Slide the legs out and then feel and sense. Okay, rebend. And this time we slide the sacrum up, down. So slide the right hip up and then the left hip up.
I was doing that last
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah.
So last time, so you'll do the opposite. So I was doing, our first round was right, left, right, left. This one's up, down, up, down. Does that make sense, Cal?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna ask you about the first one, but
Okay. Doesn't matter because we're doing both. So just do the opposite now. So if you did the rocking before, now you're doing the sliding, gliding.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a twisting sensation on the sacrum. And sometimes for me, when I do this one, I get little pops, like little releases in the sacrum area. Let your head roll. Try not to create stiffness in the head. And then if you want to, you're going to go a little faster. Up, down, up, down. And maybe you can make that go even faster. Or you're going right, left if you did the up, down before. Keep it going a little bit longer. I find this one harder to go like really fast. The rocking, I find I can go faster. But it really loosens up the lower back to do this. I know, right? It does take a little coordination. Yeah. And then again, slowly come to a stop and pause. If you want it, you can slide the legs out a moment. So we're going to repeat that neurological flushing in the shoulder blade area now. So we're going to hit a few different areas. When you're ready, bend the knees again, palms at your side. And you're going to slide right hand down, right shoulder down. Head maybe goes to the right. Start out slow. And then left hand, left shoulder down. Right shoulder can even drop up. Go slowly a few rounds, feeling how the floor, the blanket, stimulates the fascia in the arms, the hands, the shoulder blades. And sometimes when we've got lower back stuff, it's because there's stagnation in the upper back and the lower back compensates. So breaking up, tightness in the shoulder blade rib cage area can sometimes be helpful for lower back stuff. Now, if it's feeling okay for you, start to shuffle faster. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And then speed it up if it feels okay for you. Try to let your head just be loose. Go as fast as you want to go. And feel how that friction creates some warmth in the fascia of your back. And then slowly, again, start to come to a pause without suddenly stopping. And eventually relax and observe. Hands, arms, shoulders, upper back. Like right now, I've got like major tingles all the way through my arms, right? Breathe in, breathe out. So some of this stuff is also used in different forms of somatic therapy. Like there are people out there that do somatic therapy. So you go do talk therapy, but then they have you do body stuff to get the emotion out, to get the stress out. So we're going to do some of these techniques now. We're going to do some more shaking, and then we're going to finish up with some relaxation for the lower back. Take your arms up, and we're going to shake the arms. If you want to get rid of any excessive charge, right? We all know when we get upset, like sometimes, I don't know, at least I do, you want to like throw something, because it's that energy. Your body wants to get rid of it, discharge the energy. So, that feeling of like, I want to just punch someone in the face, right? We all have it sometimes. It's like a normal human thing because it's the somatic response to a fight flight. So we're getting it out, shake it out, shake it out. And it loosens up the fascia and it does that neurological flushing. Slowly come to a stop and let the arms relax. Now you've just discharged a whole lot of angst. Feel the flow of energy now. So anything that was blocked, so, of course, to be a participating member of society, we have to sometimes block our urges, right? So then that energy gets stuck in our bodies if we don't discharge it. We're in the animal world. You see this all the time. There's a trauma guy, his name's Peter Levine. He started the whole somatic experiencing phenomenon. He wrote books on it. But anyway, he observed animals in the wild. They get attacked, they escape, and they go and they shake it off. And then they move on with the rest of their day. But we don't do that. We hold it inside. We're gonna do the same with the legs. So take the legs up, keep a little bend in the knees, and start shaking, kicking, shaking, kicking. Get it out. Get that discharge out, because normally we would be running when we're under a threat, but we don't do that. What do? We just clench and shut down our tendency, and our fight flight gets stuck in our bodies. So kick it out. And this can help discharge that lower back strain as well. Slowly come to a stop and let the legs come down. Relax. So the next time you're feeling really angsty, put on some of your favorite music and shake. We're gonna do it one more time with all the limbs at one time. Yeah, it can be a little intense. Feel free to just do one or the other. Okay, arms and legs up. Last time, shake everything. Shake, shake, give it up. And then slowly come to a stop and let it come down. Take another full breath there. Now finishing with a little more extended clock face, bend both knees. Rock straight up and down on the pelvis. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Imagine the clock face. So imagine like tailbone is 6 o'clock, top of the sacrum, 12 o'clock. And just start to slow things down now internally. Draw that shaking. And now shift to 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock. On a diagonal, 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And don't worry, like if this gets confusing, you don't have to be precise about it. You're just rocking on a little angle. And then 3 and 9, straight across, right and left. Knees aren't moving much, just enough to kind of accommodate the movement, but try not to go into a full windshield wiper. Okay, 4 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Five and 11. And then 6, 12 again. Okay, 7, 1. So back around, but just kind of the opposite. 7 and 1. 8 to 2. 9 to 3. 10 to 4. This can help balance out any little inconsistencies in our sacrum, little twists or tightening in one area. And then 11, 5. And then 6, 12. One more time. And now all the way around the clock, tailbone forward, circle around the sacrum. This little movement in the legs as you can. Maybe the head mirrors your sacrum and draws a circle of the head and the sacrum. Those bookends of our spine. Both ends often holding compression, right? And compression in the neck and compression in the lumbar are the most common, as they are the most mobile, but also hold a lot of our weight, the weight of our head and the weight of our whole spine on the lower spine. Reverse. And then that middle part often stiff. So here, as we circle sacrum and head in unison, or you could just do sacrum too, we start to loosen up that compression and allowing more freedom for the nerves. When there's compression, there's often nerve pinching. Back to the center. Hug your knees to your chest, rock or circle. And then hold behind the backs of the knees, loose happy baby, circle around the sacrum. And then other direction. Hug the knees back in one last time. And when you are ready, Shavasana. Just let everything go, releasing like those water balloons, softening into the ground, that heaviness through the tissues. Sensing the neurological flow that we created through the movement, the shaking, the nerve flossing. Letting the lower back really drop and soften into the ground. It's noticing where the body is making contact with the floor, sensing the earth, allowing the body to relax into that sense of gravity. Let the body yield to that gravity. Skin softening, fascia releasing, and then we're on the surface and then deeper and deeper, letting the deep, deep fascia unwind. Through all that shaking and moving, see if you might be able to feel a sense of the energy flowing down your arms into your hands and your fingertips. Can you sense any sensation, subtle sensation in your fingertips? Maybe in the skin under your fingernails. Maybe in the webbing between your fingers. Maybe in the lines in your palms. And then noticing the legs. The sense of energy flow down the legs. Through the backs of your knees, through your ankles, and into the feet. Sensing sensation in the soles of your feet. Sense anything in the tips of your toes. In the skin underneath your toenails. You sense the airflow in the spaces between your toes. The webbing in your toes. Maybe feeling the many little bones and joints in your toes. Feeling that same energy flow through your spine into the sacrum and the lower back. Sensations, letting the sacrum drop and spread into the ground. Releasing all the fascia of the lower back. Sensing the breath between each vertebra of your spine. And into the tiny cervical vertebrae below the skull. And sensing cranial bones softening, skin around those bones softening. See if you could sense and be aware of every little hair follicle. So that there's energy, blood flow, circulation into each of those little follicles in the scalp. And feel your whole body alive with this sense of flow, being released, blocked energy, stuck energy, repressed energy. Emptying out for just a few more moments. Now take your time and just start to come back to awareness with the subtlety of movement as you are ready. Taking whatever time you need to come onto your side for a pause. Eventually coming back up into a seated position. And we'll just take a few breaths there in our seated position. And just taking this moment to acknowledge the challenges in life, acknowledging the difficulty, but also acknowledging the medicine of your practice. Bring palms together in front of the heart space. Take an inhale, exhale to your heart. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yay.